Welcome back to Brews and Business, guys.
Hi.
Glad to have you here.
Good to see you.
I think it was like almost a year, has it been?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
crazy.
no, I was just looking through January memories and
Yeah.
it was in January.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then we just met a few months back talking
did.
about the city and stuff and about how you are like the CEO of Broken Arrow,
Yes.
right?
Council would be the board of stakeholders, or basically city manager serves as in that capacity as the CEO.
Yeah. And then you're kind of like a different kind of branch in government that kind of keeps each other in balance, right? Isn't that what we kind of talked about a little bit too, but how like you're kind of like the face, more or less,
Sure.
try to build make connections and build
the council
relationships.
is the legislative branch of how city government works in Broken Arrow.
Okay.
Because each city has its own form. You can have city manager strong, or you can have mayor strong, which is like Tulsa.
Okay.
Tulsa elects their mayor, and then in Broken Arrow, we hire a city manager. He does the day-to-day business. We do the legislating of laws and ordinances, etc.
Cool.
If you're old enough to remember the old Schoolhouse Rock, the legislative branch, executive branch,
young.
judicial branch, a lot of folks don't remember that. But it's interesting. This council actually only has two. Is that it's exciting because there's going to be 8 propositions that are in the bond package. And I know the mayor's got some exciting things to mention as well as I do about the various projects, but there'll be 8 propositions. The first one will be transportation, which is all things asphalt and concrete, which I like to use asphalt and concrete because all of our streets are either asphalt, concrete, sidewalks, curbs, trails. Proposition number 2 is public safety, which obviously Broken Arrow has. We are one of the safest cities in the state of Oklahoma and America, and that's because of the effort that we place to make sure that public safety is the top priority. The council and I say all the time, success of a community begins and ends with your commitment to public safety. So there'll be 2 fire stations. There'll be some additional fire trucks. There'll also be some improvements at our training center to include additional classroom and some other improvements, as well as some additional early warning sirens for emergency management. Third proposition is all about parks and recreation, to include a potentially a new community center in Elam Park that council approved several years ago. Proposition number 4 is an exciting proposition. It's about city facilities, including an expansion of the Rose District Plaza, and drum roll, please, the council is going to actually ask the voters to move the senior center that's on the east side of South Main Street on the west side over to the east side to create one large facility, because that one on the west side is quite old, and they want to basically expand.
Because they have to walk across the street to go to the other facilities, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing, some additional square footage, actually. Pickleball courts inside. The seniors basically said pickleball was very large. And then there's 2 propositions related to stormwater. I mean, we're a city that's over 100 years old. There's stormwater issues that have to be addressed all around our community. Then there's an exciting proposition related to the Tulsa City County Library. And then finally, there is an 8th proposition related to sales tax in connection with our sports facilities that are actually going to transform those facilities for more use and play within our community, plus create an economic driver for our city to generate more sales tax and more business within our city.
My mother would always say that if you're dead, sick, or stupid, your teachers, your EMS, doctors, firefighters, and policemen, like, what's going on here, right? So, making sure that those people are a priority in our community, I think it's important, right?
Well, and all the decisions this council and our city manager make are intentional for the future. When we're no longer here anymore, we want to make sure we put things in place that continues to have our city thrive and grow and be the safest place to live. Like the priority, like you mentioned earlier on public safety, our 100% of our sales tax revenue goes to public safety. And that's intentional, like what we do and what we look for. And when we sit down and we listen to the chief and his staff of the fire department or the police department, we want to be innovative with our technology. We want to do whatever we can to make sure that we maintain the safest place to live. Because you can have the best place to live ever, but if there's crime everywhere, it's soon not going to be the very best place to live. It's a top priority for sure.
Part of your positions too is planning this whole thing, like you said, since 2023. Why does it take 3 years to kind of build this together? Like, what's that? What's the process like?
I'm going to just give us some kudos to this guy here. when I came on council, I mean, I voted on bond packages, but I didn't know what went behind the scenes. And I guarantee you, I don't know if there's any other city that does the planning of bond packages the way you have created in our city. Literally starting like backing it all the way up and mapping out what needs to be done by certain timelines, all the way down to getting with each department. Give me your wish list, and then let's see where we go from there. Then having the town hall meetings with the citizens and letting them tell us, yes, that looks great, or no, I don't want that. That's not important. Those kind of things. And I mean, it took a lot of effort.
Good.
And I mean, like he said, 2+ years. It's all of that. I mean, and it's constant work by the directors and his personal staff that make that happen. So
and that's
I
a
just
3
wanted to give
by
you kudos real quick.
And that's a 3 by 8 foot board alone project by itself, because that other board you have in your house, kind of like this one behind you, where it has kind of like your annual goals and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you did the year before last. You probably did it again for 25.
I did.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Day for
So this
yesterday.
bond
Cleaned
package
it all
probably has
up
its
and
own
started it
whiteboard.
all over. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
I think the mayor covered it very well, and I appreciate that. I would say it's all about having a bond package that is community driven, and she hit on all the points. It has to be a combination of what the citizens would like to see, what the elected governing body would like to see, and what the directors recommend. And if you put together a bond package that isn't made up of all three of those elements, it's going to be difficult to get the citizen to support it. And so council has been amazing at supporting the recommendations. And most of those recommendations focused around public hearings, asking the citizens to come out. And we had hundreds of folks that came out for a multitude of public hearings. And the other one was we did surveys. The council committed some resources to actually complete 6 surveys related to the bond package. And so the results of those surveys helped drive what projects ended up into the package. But how do you start?
Of people who may not even be involved in our community and don't understand the vision and the drive that we've had all this time, and they could take a seat here and change the entire direction of our city and everything we've worked on. He'd have to work with them. I'd have to live in the city, but I could move. You'd have to still work with them. But yeah, so that's when I thought, okay, I got to run one more time. And so, but 4 years will be up before I know it.
Yeah.
And so, it is.
Yeah.
It's not scary, but it is, because I want everything. I feel like we've just done such a great job of making it the number one place to live, which I get to say a lot during our time on council now. But to think about what it could be like in the future is, I don't know.
It is a little bit. I will say is that you just have to trust the process. From my perspective, is that the council members that have served, Johnny Parks, for example, he's lived here his whole life. And so his investment towards this community is about whatever's necessary to make it a better city to live, work, and raise a family. I know the mayor feels that same way. And if she chooses not to run again next time, it's not like she's all of a sudden going to disappear. She's still going to be around. She's been here her whole life. Lisa Ford, who I think has been an incredible addition to the council, spent 20 years in working for the police department as a city employee, and then got elected and then got reelected. Then you look at Justin Green, who's got an investment with his family. His wife works in the school district. David Pickle has a business here. They've all got involved. And so I think what is you've seen is you have people that have the same beliefs and values as they want Broken Arrow to be the very best it can be in terms of being able to raise a family, start a business, and have great quality of life. And so I don't really get concerned or worried about the future, because I trust this community. It was a great community before I got here, and I've been blessed to be here now, and it's been a great community. And I think that we've taken it to the next level in many respects, especially when it comes to transparency. And so my whole focus is making sure that the city council and the city manager in the future have plans that they can work off of. Now, if they choose to make other policy decisions, at least they'll have a baseline. They won't be walking in and not have a plan for making sure they expand the water treatment plant, or to do a sewer treatment plant, or have a plan for capital improvements. That's my number one responsibility. And the other thing I'm excited about that really is going to transcend my leadership is the directors that we have at the department level are absolutely amazing. people like Charlie Bright, Tim Wilson, Tim Robbins, Kelly Cox, basically Jeremy Moore, Lance Arnold. I mean, I could go on. I maybe missed a few. Those folks, I think they're heavily invested in wanting to see Broken Arrow, and they have the same beliefs and values about servant leadership that the council expect and that I try to employ every day, this notion of getting to yes. And so I don't really worry about it too much because I know that Broken Arrow is going to be fine.
Isn't that a book? Getting to yes?
Well, I haven't written it yet, but actually, but actually, that's been my philosophy for most of my career, because in the end, it's all about when you dial everything back and you basically peel everything down and boil it down, however you want to say it. It's about taking care of the citizens and the businesses and trying to help them because they're the ones that deserve that effort. And what's been really exciting for me is as new council members come on, they've adopted that same philosophy and then the same level of expectation from the staff. And believe me, getting to yes is a lot harder than saying no, because saying no can be easy.
It is a book.
It is a book.
Okay.
You don't have to read it.
Then I do need to read it. Maybe I co-author the sequel. But I can tell you, all of the employees now understand that yes is what we're trying to get to.
Because it's really easy to just go, nope, sorry, we can't do that. Right?
Yeah, you burn a lot of brain cells.
We had a mindset in our city before us.
Yes.
For sure. Before you. So
you do. You burn a lot of brain cells trying to get to yes, even if it's 50% of yes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just can't help residents the way they like to be helped, but there are other ways and other things you can do. And I think that, our customer service, whenever we do satisfaction surveys, the one we did in 2024, the one you firsthand, whether they're driving on that road, playing on that park, seeing that new fire station, they know that actually the dollars that they approve are going to turn in to tangible improvements that are going to make us a better community to live, work, and play in.
Yeah.
Do you have a Go Bond elevator pitch? Yeah, 60 seconds. What do I need to know?
Fair?
Oh gosh.
Ready?
I haven't thought about an elevator pitch. I would just think it's a reinvestment into keeping our city thriving, and just knowing that, again, we live in a state that doesn't have any other tools in the toolbox to make these things happen. So if the bond is not approved, they're not happening. These improvements are not happening. It may be okay the first month after the bond, but the next year and the next year, and roads aren't getting taken care of, and we're having to try to find ways to make things happen. It will be, you said a pebble in a pond, but I think it's going to be a bigger than a pebble in a pond, that if you're pushing it down the road and things, and it makes it harder to keep up with things, right? Yes. So if you're not constantly improving, say your streets, that it just, because we do a really good job with our PCI, right? Like making sure our pavement index is where it needs to be on the good side, instead of having to catch up all the time. We maintain our roads. But I don't know. I'm going to work on the elevator pitch, because there's a lot, but it's important that people understand the importance of it.
You got a quick minute. What do they need to know?
We take turns going back and forth, and we try not. It's always easier to go second sometimes, and so I think.
Let me see what she says.
I think my pitch to citizens would be this: we live arguably in one of the best cities in the state and the country to live in, and there are 19,000 cities. And a huge reason why we're one of the best cities is because its governance and because of its citizens and the commitment they've made previously in its infrastructure. And this bond opportunity, which is phase 2 of a Build a Better Broken Arrow, is an opportunity to actually continue the prosperity that exists within our community, to make sure we continue to be the best place to live, work, and raise a family in the country.
I like it.
Drop
Just
the
like
mic.
that.
We're done.
I like it.
We're done.
Yeah.
Well,
it's always easier to go second.
Man, we've covered quite a bit today. Everything from a little bit about what a Go Bond is, a general obligation bond. We know we've got to vote on this in April. Kind of talked about the planning and community engagement process. Did we touch? I think we touched a little bit on estimated scale and prioritization with tax and funding mechanics. Talked about where the money's coming from, where it's going.
Do you want to touch on Proposition 8?
Yeah, Proposition number 8. I always like to close it out, reminding people when the vote is. So Proposition number 8 is different than the first 7 propositions, and I'm glad the mayor brought it up. It is proposed as a temporary increase in sales tax for 5 years. Specifically, it would be a 0.5% increase in our local sales tax rate for that 5-year period. 0.5% generates $10.6 million a year, which based on all the calculations would make about $53 million or so available for us to be able to spend. If the voters approve that, it's going to be major upgrades and expansions of all of our sports complexes, which consist of Fast Pitch, Arrowhead Sports Complex, Fast Pitch Softball, Indian Springs Sports Complex, which has baseball, adult softball, and soccer, and then our football in Ninos Park. All those facilities, football has had some improvements, but the other facilities, it's been 2 and 3 decades since some of them have had those improvements simply because of the limited amount of funding. So this initiative could actually see turf, basically improvements to the fields themselves, for spectators, everything that you need to make lighting. Exactly, Mayor. Make the premier place between Kansas City and Dallas for not only for our kids to play, but for also the tournaments, because right now that we've lost that competitive edge to Northwest Arkansas because so much turf has been put down. Well, the turf creates opportunities, especially when it comes to fast pitch, girls fast pitch, and baseball for Ed to bring tournaments, because right now people don't like to go and there's a rain event. They lose those funds and those funding opportunities for tournaments. So think about the hotels, think about the restaurants, think about the Walmarts, the Targets, everything,
Retail,
sporting goods stores that would benefit. And so this is a major opportunity for us to upgrade all of our cities for our kids, as well as those that could come to support our businesses. And that's what the reality is. So it's a 0.5% for 5 years. As soon as actually the note would be issued that we would basically sell to do all the improvements. And the council, one more thing, and I'll let the mayor add to this, is that council was very specific about how they said we would do this. If the voters approve this, it's not going to linger for like 10 years. What'll happen is we will design the improvements at all 5 facilities at the same time. We will award the bids essentially at the same time, and all the work will be done at the same time. So the kids of the parents who voted for the proposition will get to utilize the facilities. Yes. Council said, if we're not going to do it that way, Michael, then we're not going to put it on there, because we don't want this to linger over a 5 or 10 a year or even longer. We need to get the voters to approve it, get the improvements made so the kids and the parents can enjoy it. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah, because you think about if you would have put it in the bond package, the people who are actually voting on it in April, their kids may already would be aged out and not even, so they're voting on something that their kids are aged out and not even going to be able to play on those playgrounds or the soccer fields and the baseball and softball fields. So having it in this perspective, and we're making sure that the language in it is 5 years. Everyone thinks that, then they'll tell you, we want to extend it. It's 5 years. We're going to get these improvements done, and that's how we're going to do this. So that we can get the improvements done now and not have to wait for 10, 15 years to get them done. So
the last thing I would say is, here's what's the best about this proposition. If council did have the capacity and put the $53 to $56 million in the proposition, one of the first 7 propositions, that means Broken Arrow would be paying 100% of the bill. A sales tax allows those people that are coming into the community to help contribute towards the capital portion of the improvements are being made. And I think the percentages is about 55% of the sales tax generated, it comes from within the community, 45% comes from outside the community. So that means that if this proposition passes, 40 to 45%, I'm working on those figures because I got to have public education in February and March, is that those people coming in the community are going to help pay for this initiative. And the 100% of the bill is not on the backs of the property owners in Broken Arrow, which is an amazing opportunity.
I love it. Yeah, we got a little bit of a 60-second elevator pitch to work on, but other than that, that's good. So I got a really good understanding of what this bond package is and kind of how it works and stuff.
And the importance.
When we need to vote, and the importance of it. So, yeah.
When's the vote, Mayor?
Yeah, when's the vote? When do we put pen to paper?
First Tuesday in April.
April 7th?
Yeah.
April 7th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's another thing is in 2018, the mayor got called. She texted me back then and said, Michael, we need to remind people that the ballot, there's propositions on, you got to turn it over. And so when we look at the ballot this year, we got to make sure that we tell people that with 8 propositions to make sure you turn the page.
Yeah. Where do I go to find the bond? I want to read it.
It's on our website.
Yeah.
Yep.
On a website.
BrokenArrowOK.gov.
The city of BA.
Yeah. BrokenArrowOK.gov.
Okay, cool.
You can also get a copy of the approved bond package in the city clerk's office.
Yep.
Okay.
And so that's available.
I would encourage everyone to do that.
Yeah.
To go and read it. And
I would
understand it. And,
I would love for folks to come out. And council has said they're going to have public forums in March. So I think we're going to have 4 public forums where one a week, where in different parts of the community, we're going to set it up in like an Oklahoma Department of Transportation style, be a short presentation from the mayor and myself, and then everybody can go out and see the projects that have been approved that are included in the bond package, and then they can ask questions about those projects and make sure that they are well informed. So when they go into the polling place, they will feel like that they know exactly what it is they're voting on.
Man, that's so exciting.
It is exciting.
There's a lot of big things for Broken Arrow. Like I said before, I'm a big advocate for Broken Arrow. Currently, I'm next door neighbors to Broken Arrow, but I grew up in Broken Arrow, graduated from there, worked there, so got an office there with John and stuff. So I need to move back as soon as we can find a property. When we moved a couple of years ago, I was trying to find an opportunity there, but there wasn't something that was available at the time. So hopefully in the next year or two, we can find an opportunity to make our way back out there. So one of my boys, he goes to school out there. So pretty ingrained.
And you're involved in the Broken Arrow football, so I would assume that would be exciting for Proposition 8 for you as well.
Do you see the pictures?
If you could just move before April 7th that you could vote on it, that'd be amazing.
That'd be nice. Mayor Wimpey, thank you so much for sharing everything and joining us. And then thank you, Michael Spurgeon, for joining me as well.
Thanks
and
for
sharing
the opportunity to share.
I think it's important to educate this stuff.
Yeah.
So
we have an amazing community. Is just folks pay attention, and that creates dialogue. It creates debate. But we believe very strongly in this community is the reason why is because of that debate. And we're excited about getting out there. I know the mayor is. That's one of her favorite things. I know Lisa Ford, Justin, Johnny Parks, David Pickle. I can tell you they love to talk to citizens. And so February and March are going to be busy. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be worth it because I believe our voters are going to be well educated when they go to the polls on April 7th.
And it starts with a conversation.
Yes.
Yes,
right.
That's right.
Yes.
All righty. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.